know until later, when I was suicidal and wanted to end my life because I couldn't take another day of chronic pain, talking to Mum and saying, maybe we should have listened back then. And she said, what? I said, well, you know, the guy who said I needed my feet broken and reset. She said, I had no idea. So he never told her. The paperwork had never been received. So now I'm well, I'm taking that goddamn walk and I'm gonna do it. I don't know that I can make it all the way because I still suffer with pain because my body's quite ruined from what it went through. But I'm gonna try. I hope I can achieve it. I hope I can get through it. I have to deal with the fact that I'm not in pain as much as I used to be. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, who I am. Now I'm not fighting pain. I think I need to rediscover who I am, and I think walking a really long way, the slowest way that I can move, and just needing to put food in my mouth and one foot in front of the other, and seeing who I am. Now I'm not fighting pain, and seeing how I can help other people who are suffering and who need hope. Because if I'd given up hope, or if I'd listened to the doctors and people saying no at any point along that journey, I wouldn't be here today. Resilience, hope, and just believing there's a way through and not being ashamed. So whatever you might be going through, whatever you might face, don't be ashamed, because what I've discovered is we're all in this together.
Hi, I'm so glad you're here to watch the full film of my AT thru hike. Just over 2 years ago, I started at Katahdin Southbound, not really having ever done anything like an AT thru hike before. As you might know, I dreamed about the Appalachian Trail for years, but 15 years of chronic ill health meant that for me it was a pipe dream. I never believed it would happen. With the looming spectre of losing the ability to walk in my later age, I thought I was done for. But I never gave up, persevered, researched, spoke to people, tried every different modality I could lay my hands on, and eventually was able to rehabilitate myself enough to take on this challenge, Southbound on the Appalachian Trail. This film hopefully shows you the incredible people that I met along the way, how wonderful the trail community is, the trail angels, the trail itself, which is a special dirt ribbon through those mountains, valleys and forests for 2,200 odd miles. I owe a lot to that trail and the people I met, to the kindnesses that I was showed on that adventure. I don't think I've ever had a more clear picture of how good humanity can be and how people show up for you even when you least expect it. Nature and the great outdoors proved to be incredible teachers. One of the things they showed me that I still think about today is that in time everything heals, whether it's a broken bough on a tree from a storm. You might have a scar, but you can heal. And also that everything has a place, everything has a purpose, and everything has a season. So it teaches me to be still and to sit with my feelings and to open myself up. Also, walking with people that you would have never met in your everyday life has taught me that you can get along with everybody if you listen. Walking alongside people for long distances, you learn so much about people. Be open-minded, take it all in, ask more questions, and eventually you learn to crack along with pretty much anyone. So in a minute, you're about to see me begin the trail southbound in Maine and summit Katahdin on my first day, probably thinking equally in turn that I would never do more than a couple of days before my pain came back and I'd have to go home and give up, but also that I could take on anything, and being actually completely unprepared for the physical, arduous journey that was ahead of me. How was I ever to know on that first day that I'd meet people who changed my life, that this story would turn into a book that would get published, and that the story itself would allow me to have a brand new sense of self-worth and self-confidence and make friends that I still have today. I hope you enjoy it. I'll put back at certain points in the story to fill you in on some things that happened that I might not have talked about before. So enjoy day one in Maine, about to summit Katahdin. So this is the beginning, campground, the first white blaze I've ever seen. Awesome. And I'm leaving Katahdin Stream campground now. This is the beginning of the Hunt Trail, which goes up to Katahdin, and all hikers please register here. So this is my very first registry. Okay. I think the dates are the wrong way round. 1, time of departure. Oh, 8:14. Yay! Here we go. Wish me luck. Just so beautiful. So left the stream behind, just on about 100 stone steps. Now, I guess we're coming out of the tree line soon. I picked up some dirty water. We've got some clean to drink, dirty if I need it, on my stove. I fancy having a cup of tea at the top. Sweaty, curly, happy. 2 miles up Katahdin from the campground, just on lots of stone steps, past a family, very nice, mum, younger teenage children. I'm good. My sacroiliac joint on my right hand side is seized up and it's very painful, but that's normal. So let's wait and see if my exercises from Lizzie loosens that all out. Oh boy. I was so wrong. We're nowhere near out of the tree line yet. I mean me and my backpack. It's going well. I've been a bit thirsty, but I got the water. That was good. Saw a red squirrel, I think. Passed quite a few people, maybe 5 in total. Going a bit slower, taking their time. It's now got to like proper bouldering. So it's not really path at all anymore now. It's lots of big rocks to kind of grab with your arms. Pull yourself over. I don't know if I can show you that one like this. I mean, we go next to it. I'm not climbing over that one. But still, there's some quite big ones that you've got to hike yourself over. Hike yourself over. All right, I'm sweaty, but I'm still happy. It's a serious scramble. Can you hear him? What? I honestly can't cope with how beautiful this is. All of that is wilderness completely, and they're all just wild lakes. We're going to be hiking through there starting tomorrow. Thank God I took some climbing classes and did a bit of climbing with Maria and in Cornwall, because I needed climbing to know just the very basics then. And then I'm on like a knife edge ridge to the summit. Ooh, think of all the animals while we're in there. I'm not trying to be funny, but this boulder field is pretty intimidating. I don't know if I can show you. It just goes straight up. I can't actually see the way up. I'm good to go. Nothing really hurts. Everything's loosened up after the first bit where everything hurt quite a lot about 2 hours ago when I first started. Now everything's all like, hey, this is what we're doing. Okay, let's do it. So pain levels are all right, but I did smash some codeine and naproxen this morning. All right, I'm going to try and get up this beast, and I'll check in with you after that. Tougher than I thought. I'm hanging for a coffee. It's too windy and I've got to get to that sign first. Let's get to it. Just made it. Still some snow down there. I've just realised though that I've just started my thru hike. Heading south! Yay! Just started the 100-mile wilderness. We've left the Katahdin Stream campground. Alice has gone on ahead because she walks slower, and I wanted to repack the weight in my pack. It's really still and beautiful in here. The black fly are everywhere, so I've got my hairnet in my bag and I've got my cap strapped to the side and ready to go. Can't really see it. Anyways, I'm going to show you how pretty it is. Hang on. This is Alice, who has suffered terribly with mosquito bites. But upon reaching Able Bridge, she found this garment, which is proving invaluable in the fight against all manner of bugs.
Yeah,
Is that what we got to get to? What, that one? What's all that?
Ling?
Is that what we need to get to? Is that like white? This is my first AT privy. And look at it. Ta-da! It's brand new. They just built it. It's beautiful. Thank you, AT conservation people and volunteers, for building such a beautiful thing. Clean. There are literally bugs who've died on the front of this net. Oh, it's so buggy. I'm about 2.5k from rainbow trout, whatever it's called. Tired. I think we're going to end up doing 15 miles today. But it is like walking through the upside down. First bit of rain. Rained all last night. Some of Alice's stuff got wet. We kind of got a bit wet. I feel a bit miserable this morning. She's got bad asthma. She's not feeling great. But she's valiant. And here she comes.
Definitely raining, my love.
The trooper. Okay, I just introduced you as the trooper. Not well, doing well. With an invention!
Yes, my invention.
Okay. Woohoo! Boo! The 100-mile was hard but wonderful, largely because of my brilliant old friend Alice. I was so sad she was leaving, but it was time for her to head home to the UK and her family. But the trail provides, and I had met new friends to hike forward with. After a day of rest at the famous shores, Poet dropped us back to trail. Kit, Hambone, Avery and Morgan were to be my new trail family for a while. And I was so lucky to have found such kind, experienced and hilarious hikers to hike with as we moved into southern Maine, navigating rivers, peaks, valleys and views. With very little rest, I was far out of my comfort zone, but learning every day. This is Moxie Bald Mountain, and I'm so close to the summit. I left the tent shelter place before the other crew because they are faster than me and younger than me, and they're so lovely that I don't want to lose them. So I thought I would come and at least get a tiny head start on some of the mountain. Oh. So, here we go. Top of Moxie Bald. Heading on down. Had some oatmeal and a coffee on the top. Tried to activate my phone, wouldn't work. No sign of the crew yet. We're going down the mountain, which sounds good, doesn't it? But to be honest with you, going down the mountain is just as fucking hard as coming up the mountain in a different way, because it's just skidding down rock on your ass sometimes. Not if you're one of the OG crew, because They've done this many times before. What's the name of it? The Pierce Pond?
Pierce Pond Portage Bridge. And it's slowly falling apart, so watch out.
Not part of the trail.
Now we'll meet back up with the trail right there.
Good morning. Come about 5 miles so far, I think. There's a little tree in the path. Just climbed over that from the other side. It's quite freshly down, I reckon. It's my first huge day to over 4,000, 2 over 4,000s in a day. Bigelows. And then we're gonna bunk up on a tent site at the top in the middle of 2 huge peaks in a col on the other side of Avery Peak. It's gonna be really tough. Let's see how far I can get. Okay, so it's 10 to 2 and I just passed the top of Little Bigelow. This is an incredible ledge. Look, the poor little feet. Oh, but look at that. Wow. It's nearly 10 to 6. The last video I made was at the top of that one over there. I didn't think I'd have to come all the way over here, but I did. I think I've lost the crew, but this is amazing. I'll probably camp at the col and get up at 5 a.m. Wow, I'm over 4,000. Amazing. 13.6 to the next camp place where we're going to have fire by the waterfalls. So says Kid Rock and Steinbeck.
Kid Rock. It was summertime.
We were doing funny things.
Oh, I love taking breaks. Hey guys, how you doing?
How are you doing today?
Just fine.
Feeling good.
I'm ready for camp.
I can't wait to get to
I'm ready to
camp.
set up.
I can't wait. I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna have for dinner.
How long have we been hiking, team?
Oh, maybe 3 hours.
Maybe.
Okay.
Couple breaks.
And we've already bagged 2 4,000-foot peaks. How do you feel when you're going uphill? What tips would you give people who are hiking up mountains and their legs hurt and their packs are heavy?
Don't pack out beer.
Don't pack out
Because it does weigh down your pack. My technique for going up the mountain is go as fast as you possibly can, because then you'll be up there faster. Avery's technique for going up the mountain is telling me to keep my pace, but really he means a slow pace, don't run up it. And Gail's technique for going up the mountain is the Sherpas with the little tiny steps.
Yeah, slow and steady gets you there. So, halfway up Sugarloaf. I'm not being funny. I'm no lazy person. But I don't know if you can get the angle on this. It is just climbing up rock face. You can't get the angle of how steep that is. How steep that is going down. This just up. Fucking made it. I think it's because I was playing the Eagles really loud. Had to throw the poles up ahead each time. Full body scramble. Fingers in notches.
She said something about it at the concert when they sang it. And then I think I looked it up when I did all my research.
What are we doing, team? Elevating your feet, yeah?
Yes. Getting ready for more of our big day.
Yeah.
I'll get my phone in a second.
Action. Hi, I'm here in Rangeley. We are taking a 0, the first of 2 zeros we're going to take here. In the orange hat is Lazy Bean. Behind Lazy Bean is Steinbeck, also known as Dozer. Are there any other names you'd like to take on, Dozer?
No, that's it.
Okay, and then to the right in the bluey green shirt is Hambone Henry Hambonius, the Walker, Hike Master General.
Well, we just did the saddlebacks and the Bigelows with no food. Completely survived off of trout.
Boss.
And wild onions.
We're on Saddleback Junior, which is 3,640. And now we are gonna go and get these guys. Morgan, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling brutalized, Cal.
Okay, tell me about it.
Like a meat tenderizer has gone over everything from the knee down.
We started over there today. We did those guys yesterday. Can you see in the distance there's one with poles on the top? That is Sugarloaf, which literally utterly fucking destroyed me yesterday. So we've done quite a lot of meaty miles recently, haven't we?
They've been loaded.
What have they been loaded with?
Vertical gains.
We're on the Horn. It was so hard and so steep coming up that I nearly passed out. But it's good, these are the best guys to hike with. They keep you pepped and positive the whole way. That's where we're going now, along that exposed ridge called Saddleback to Saddleback Peak at the end. There's some ski routes there. The Horn! Yeah, a lot of vertical gain. And what actually takes the toll on your feet? It's not just the gain, there's something very simple about the ground we're walking on.
It's just the perfect storm, you know? There's 50 miles and there's rocks and roots and there's water and there's bugs and it's just, it all adds up and it's incredible. Sounds good.
See what it looks like. Avoid the waves.
Now these aluminum canoes do ride well on the lakes. That's for sure.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. They really fucking do.
Are you picking up?
Because the sunset last night was so amazing that we almost had to stop the car because it was so beautiful. It was just purple and pink. So now we're canoeing out so we can get a better view.
You gotta rotate your thumb.
This is the life! The river's down here. We're at the hiker hut. It's morning. We spent last night here sitting around this campfire, listening to music and singing. Bonsai was quite tipsy and he was singing his head off. This is Bonsai, the singer from last night. Morning, Bonsai. And then we have, this is Steve's house he built. He lives in this one. It's all off the grid here, the hiker hut. There are solar lights. I'm charging up here for tonight. And then in the morning you get coffee, nice donuts and a fried egg sandwich with cheese from the little kitchen hut. This is Steve himself. Hi Steve, say hi.
Man, the myth, the legend.
The man, the myth, the legend. Hello, morning. Hi. So this is where Steve creates the magic in the morning.
We have pickles for you.
We have pickles.
Pickles for the Queen.
The Queen of England. And this is where the fried egg magic happens. There he is. And we've had a wonderful time here. Steve does incredible things, helping children in India for 6 months of the year. The money that he raises here, he plows straight back into helping people, which is just lovely. Hi, this is Tomb Raider. He has an amazing dog called Levi. Here's Levi. Yeah. Good boy, Levi. This is the crew getting ready to leave.
What it do?
What's up, Avery?
What's up?
What's up? What's up, Hambonius?
What it don't do. What it ain't.
This is the bunkhouse. Hambone slept up there. I slept down here. Bonsai slept there. He was quite drunk. Apparently he peed on the fire to put it out last night. And then up on there, Avery and Morgan slept. Nobody slept up in that one. But it's a really nice little hut. There's no electricity at all. Can't charge your phone. No signal. So you're off grid. It's perfect.
I'm tired of this. I'm done filming. I'm gone.
And the lead of the film has just walked off the set. We haven't quite yet ascertained what it is that's made Mel Gibson behave in this manner. What was wrong with your trailer, sir?
Oh, I need something to throw. I need something giant to just fucking throw.
So we get the water. We met some righteous dudes up there. That's the blue blaze, you can just see the blue. They have terrible hangovers, northbounders just hanging out and sleeping in the shelter, getting ready for the next party on the way up. One of them was the 4th one to start this year. They're both really lovely. They showed me their beaver video. I was happy. So that's the Sabbath Day Pond lean-to. And now we're going to Bemis Mountain lean-to, which is 8.2 miles, but it's already 4 o'clock. So I better shift my ass. Yo, so we just came out of the bushes there, across the road. That's the view. This is where we're going to eat our supper. This is, I think, main route 27. Excuse the shaky camera. Always a bit shaky when I'm walking. We haven't gone all the way. we haven't got all the 19 miles today. I think we're pulling up like 3 miles short, so we can get some food. Morning, can you see me? It's really early. Some of the camp's already left, some are still asleep. I've come down here to the ford to get water for the day. So, camps, we came in late last night, around 9:30, 10:15, and we had to do the last part in the dark, a bit of night hiking, which was really hard because it was down a steep ravine. We fell over a few times. Now I'm going to get some water and make some coffee before the others get up. So I need my coffee in the morning, and it's going to be a good day.
Nice angle. He's really giving us the shot here. This grouse is just naturally posing.
His colours are so beautiful.
That is amazing. Watch out!
He flew. Good job, buddy.
Hey, my name is David. I'm from Kentucky. And what we've got here is a chicken. This,
Baby chicken.
These chickens have been around since the dinosaurs have, you know. They've never gone anywhere. The chickens have never gotten any bigger. They've just stayed just like that forever. They're only here in Kentucky. And they're endangered, so don't fucking touch them. I will kill you.
We just got a ride back in the truck from Andover. We hitched. It took 2 minutes for my first ever hitch. And Hambone and I got a hitch out. And in town we got a burger, I got a shower. Now we are moving on. Just past 7:30 a.m. and this is, I guess, 3/4 of the way up Baldpate. Smaller Baldpate, I think. Got those misty views this morning. The sun's trying.
When you're bouldering with beer, you gotta watch out for the sharp rocks. It always happens. This one's for all my homies out there. It's too bad.
Morning! Hardest day of my whole life yesterday. Did the 2 Baldpate mountains, then Old Speck, then down Mahoosic Arm, and then across the Mahoosic Notch. And then I lay on the floor and cried with exhaustion and couldn't go back up the hill. So that was like 12 or 14 miles, I think. And in total of up and down elevation, 12,000 feet. I was destroyed. But this morning, just climbed up here, heading down to Goose Pond Shelter. What a view! And here we are with the OG, Hambone. He's staying on the legal side of the state line. Just
Last hit in Maine, and then I'm an outlaw again.
Hambone obviously will not break the law in New Hampshire and will be putting his pipe into storage. Morning! Woke up at Gentian Pond Shelter this morning and it was absolutely gorgeous last night when it was raining, so we all crammed in. Hambone went on. I stayed with Diesel and Pony Express, 2 girls going north and a really lovely guy, section hiking Tom, a bit older, who was going south, so we'll see him in town. Oh look, this is beautiful. I can't see if I'm angling the camera in the right direction. Maybe there'll be a beaver near. There's a beaver dam. Maybe there'll be a moose. Isn't it beautiful? The pines with the mist on the top. What are they saying? Burr, 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 burr. Make me some toast. Burr, burr, burr. Give me a cup of tea. If I see a moose, I'll let you know, okay? As soon as I see one. That's the trail. This is the trail. The trail. This is so cold, so clear. It's coming from in there, straight up the mountain. And we are nearly at 5,000 feet, so I'm just gonna drink it straight out of my bottle without filtering. Amazing Gorham. Oh, it's so bouncy. That's Mount Washington. This is on my way up over there, which is like, it's behind here, is Mount Washington. We've come from behind here, behind me. It's like 8,000 feet of climb today. My legs are like, but it's good. 1.6 miles away and 1.2 thousand feet, sorry, 1,200 feet of climb to go to get to the top of Mount Washington, and the cafe's just closed. Good times!
Way too nice to ever capture the beauty of. But we try. At least we're trying.
Morning. This is a janky ass looking bridge. I think that's probably Hambones written in there. It's fresh from this morning. Looking back up there to Mount Washington where I was last night. There. We hiked another 5 miles in the dark and slept. But this is some good, righteous bog action. I mean, this is deep. Let's see. Oh my god, that is so fucking deep. It just keeps going. So you can see behind me Mount Washington, which is like 6,100 and something feet. So yesterday I climbed about 8,000 feet of elevation, maybe a bit more, across all of those behind Washington. Can't do this very well, back to front, to the presidential range, which comes after the Wildcats. And I'm in New Hampshire now. Maine was really tough. So Sobo route along the Appalachian Trail is the hardest way to do it because you do all the insane elevation. Did one day of 12,000 feet of up and down and then cross the Mahoosic Arm and the Mahoosic Notch, which are the two toughest things on the whole trail. It's just like an ice age boulder field for a mile you have to climb. But I mean, I've been hiking now for nearly 30 days, no, 27 days, and I've only had maybe 2 days off where I've slept and recovered. You do drop into places just to pick up food and then you leave again. So this is the longest I've ever hiked and camped out every night. I've done cowboy camping under the stars. Last night I camped in the forest up there with my friend Hambone. Okay, sending loads of love from near Mount Washington, I guess, and about 6 miles from a road where someone's going to bring us a cold Pepsi, and I'm very excited. Bye everyone! Damn, that is some view. Heading down to the road there. Hopefully going to be met by Hambone's dad, who's going to take us for a resupply. Yes. Going off trail to the Thoreau Falls Trail. I'm going to meet back up with Franconia Ridge. It's going to be terrible weather up the top there. We're going on an adventure, yes, Hambone?
Into the depths of the Pemi Wilderness. This shit right here, full of mountain lions. The only place on the East Coast with grizzly bears.
Does?
Right here.
No!
There's several living in here. They love killing hikers. It's crazy.
I'm on Franconia Ridge, and I am fucked. I think I've still got that, I think it is a broken rib, or a cracked rib, top right under my right breast and up in my shoulder. Running out of water. There's where Hambone is. And over again, because I'm trying to be ginger because of my rib, which then jarred my rib and I nearly vomited because it hurt so much. But bad day on trail, still better than a good day in the office. Just doing a lot of climbing since I started the Appalachian Trail. And now I'm just looking above and just always thinking about Ben and Jimmy telling me to engage my glutes. Moments like this, you can't even see the angle, like it is vertical, although I can't do it justice, up these slippery rocks for 1.5 miles. I'm about to engage my glutes here in New Hampshire on one of our final large, huge, humongous mountains. So I left the cowboy camping last night. I didn't sleep a wink because I thought a bear was going to eat me or a mountain lion. So I've left the camp a bit early. This is where I'm walking through now to a place called... Yeah, I can't remember where we're going, but it's got a place called the Yellow Deli in it. I haven't washed for a few days. Got very wet last night in the field without a tent. So it's exciting, but it's challenging because you just give up on any conventional ideas of looking reasonable. This is the nicest terrain I've hiked on since I got here because it's not a vertical fucking mountain. Vermont is very lovely and there's lots of trail magic. Oh, I'm so tired already. 25 miles a day is killing me. Why do GoPros have to go beep beep beep? I was just for fucking attention.
I was like, can you not? Yeah, because I used to try and like be kind of subtle about it.
What we have here is a sweet gondola blaze. Post-retro blaze, post-deli blaze.
Nice
That is the gondola blaze pose.
Oh my god! This is crazy.
This is so much better than
So much better than hiking. This is so funny.
This is what happens when you have 3 ciders at the top of a mountain.
And 4 lazy
Full
hikers.
lunch. This is what 500 miles looks like. Yeah, that's what it really looks like. At 6:45 in the morning. Ooh, puffy face for the win.
There are plenty of people who walk by and distractions and not get distracted. So I think it's a combination of our incredibly distractible personalities. What? Yeah, that's true. I could go for a summer home in Vermont. Like Vermont.
This is a weird place. Look at all the rock stacks. Blair Witch-esque. Do we like it, Wag? We don't like it. We don't like it. We don't like it. People, if you don't hear from us,
Check the White Rocks Junction.
check the White Rock Junction. Look at that guy over. Look at that massive one over there.
Oh god.
With like the weird tiny 3 on top.
Oh, ew.
Trail magic. Early in the morning. These people are incredible.
Yeah, it's an eastern newt.
But he's such a cool colour.
Little buddy. Aren't they pretty?
Probably lose 3-4 ounces.
Oh.
Another ounce there.
Fucking hell.
Look from Mother Goose.
Morning, Vermont. You are just too gorgeous. There's a little white blaze. What are we coming up to here? That was a really nice graded climb for breakfast. I love a climb for breakfast. Oh, what's over there? Oh, nice. Yes. Hi. At the moment we're squatting on the porch of the church underneath the you know, like the pillars hold up the stone thing. Anyway, we're just under there. The boys are still up the mountain. 3 boys. They wanted to hike down, but the storms looked so bad that we decided to yellow blaze, which is take a car. It's called yellow blazing because we go down the road where the yellow stripes up.
I heard a ringing bell this morning, and it woke me from a dream. And in that dream I heard a warning. Say you need to rest, take only what you need. So keep on 'cause you can't make it on your own. Time goes slowly, the world gets lonely when you got no
Break it down.
one on your side. You gotta love one another. Sister,
I share the table so we can just pour it out. Oh my god, this is so nice.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Chris!
Oh my god, Chris!
I heard the falling rain this evening, and it put me in a dream.
Nice one, Wag. Good extension. Forearm.
That old time feeling. A little rest is all we really need. So keep on singing to those who listen.
You just do a little burp.
Yeah.
Burp and kisses. Raining outside. Look. Wave to my mom. Chimney, wave to my mom. Everyone's wet, Mom. Oh.
Hi.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, gold. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden.
I just came out of there. I think there's a bear over there. I can hear it. Crashing about.
This is Steve Owen here. We've come across 3 little bears. Right, so there's one. He fell on his tush coming down the tree. And then there's 2 other ones. They're chomping on something up there. Most likely some chestnuts. But look at him. He's bloody small, that one.
At this point, after a wonderful day with Josh in the woods, looking at the bears, arriving somewhere in Virginia that made me really happy at a really lovely hostel with people who I felt the most comfortable with I had for the entire journey, I had to come home. My decision to come off trail was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. In fact, it was so hard that I put it off for almost 600 or 700 miles, knowing that something was deeply wrong with my foot and wasn't going to recover unless I stopped to rest it. But I was in some kind of denial, wrapped my foot in the morning with Leukotape bandages, smashing so many ibuprofen and painkillers just to keep going, adamant that I was going to keep up with the rest of my gang, sometimes doing 25, 28, 29 mile days on a foot that you will later realise is very badly damaged. Your trail family can't wait for you, they have to carry on. So I knew that these people that I loved, these guys who had made me feel so welcome, so happy to be myself. Chimney and Maple and Cruz, these wonderful, wonderful friends. I knew that they would have to go on without me, and I would likely never see them again in person. In fact, I did see Chimney, Kyle, again in Atlanta the year later. However, I haven't seen Josh, the wonderful Maple, or Cruz ever since, even though we've been in touch. So those final hugs goodbye, where my face was streaming with tears, those were the last times I was able to see those people. But regardless, they cheered me on going home to heal, and they helped me make that decision. And I cheered them on as they walked to the end of the trail, and I watched and was so proud of them. But I had to go home. And as I booked the interminable amount of connections and taxis and coaches through to Washington, back then down to New York, to fly out to the UK on a journey I didn't want to be making, it was beyond overwhelming. To come out of 5 months deep in the woods with only occasional stops in towns, to come away from the company of friends that you felt knew you inside out, all of your weaknesses, all of your joys, and then to walk into public transport buildings, bustling, hustling stations and streets with regular people jostling on their way to work and shouting and chatting in mobile phones. It was so overwhelming and overstimulating, and I felt lost, like I'd just been born. But home I had to go, and I did. And I tried to heal and rest. I went to the Himalayas for a short trek, but I was mostly assisting and helping out rather than doing hard hiking. But for 5 weeks, I tried to rest my foot, my tendonitis. And then, when I could take it no longer, I knew I had to go back to trail. So the day I arrived back in London from India, from the Himalayas, I stopped, turned around, picked up my bag, and caught the next flight back out to the US, and retraced my steps into JFK, a train up to Washington, a coach all the way out into Virginia, and then a taxi from Virginia Tech University back to Parisburg, to the place I got off the trail. And there, knowing no one, in the first week of November, the weather had changed, it was really cold. I opened the door of the hostel bunk room knowing no one. People were, predictably, super friendly. Made some acquaintances who were staying for a 0 day the next day. But I set off alone back into the woods I'd left 5 weeks before, ready to take on my next chapter of the Appalachian Trail. Day 1 back, and I was feeling so energized for the first 2 hours, and now my butt hurts and my legs hurt. And I'm aware that even though I was hiking in the Himalayas, probably wasn't going quite so fast and quite so far. And I have to be realistic, it's going to take me a minute to settle back in, but I'm loving it still. It's very eerie to a degree. There's no one here. It's like a whole different country from when I was last here. But it's still good. Just have a break in a couple of hours. Slack pack today. I haven't really ever slack packed once before. But if my butt and legs hurt now when slack packing, whoo! Imagine how they're gonna hurt tomorrow when I try and do more miles. Yeah, I'll make a coffee on the ridge line and take in the view. I'm gonna go stay at Woods Hole Hostel tonight. Look how blue it is. And they're making me dinner. And I'm looking forward to it. Speak to you in a while. Good morning from Woods Hole Hostel, which is run by Neville and her helpers and has been in her family for a very long time. It's a beautiful 1850s log cabin. Look at the reflection. Such an incredible place. Communal dinners cooked together, eaten together with, well, last night with myself, Neville, 2 of her meditation retreat friends on a road trip who stopped by, and 2 guys who live here and help out currently. Sheep, goats, and 3 amazing pigs. Yay! I particularly love it when the path turns into a rhododendron tunnel, which reminds me of being back home in Cornwall in Treba Gardens and down on the Helford Passage. But I wish it was a spring time of year in some ways, so that the buds could be out. I bet it would be like a riotous pink corridor. But now it is a nice change from the trees being how they are, a little bit naked. I'm glad I'm not a little bit naked because it's cold. Morning! Sun's doing its thing, shining on the trees. It's cold this morning. Gloves and everything. That's good, it's beautiful. I think it's going to be a sunny day. So glad I stayed inside last night. Beautiful pristine woods, helium balloon. It's slippery, but I'm going to go down and get it, pack it out. So when you guys, whoever ever releases these at parties or weddings or whatever, I'm not trying to preach, but you watch them go up, and this is where they come down, or in the sea. So maybe don't. I don't think I'm going to go as many miles as I wanted to today, because I've slack packed from Weary Feet Hostel. They're super nice. Check them out. Near Bland, Virginia. And there's two places they could pick me up. One is like 18.5 miles in, and one is 26 miles in today. And I didn't start as early as I wanted, and I think I'd be pushing it to do 26 before it gets darker and therefore the sun goes down. I don't mind not hiking if I know I'm going to somewhere particular with my headlamp, but not when it's this cold. I think that when the sun goes down, my brain is frozen. When the sun goes down, it's going to be really colder. It's going to be really colder. That's the correct word use. And I'm not doing it today. No. But I'm still loving it. I was just thinking that I'm a bit lonely. It's my second day that I haven't seen anyone at all on the trails. I get really lovely people messaging me on Instagram and Facebook, and that feels like company, which is really nice. And I think as much as I like my own company in real life, out here it's nice to know someone's around, like a few hours behind or a few hours ahead, and pardon me. That was a burp. That you might see them at the end of the day, but there's no one. There's people like a day ahead, maybe a day and a half behind. This is a good thing to experience. Soon coming up is totally alone, in the dark, in the very cold, camping all by myself with no one else that I know around in like 24-hour walking vicinity. Incrementally building up to these things, from being too scared to go for a long walk by myself, I guess, in some ways. Yeah, all incremental. Goals every day. Goal today might be a beer. Today we're doing 22 to Charlotte Knob Shelter. No, Chestnut Knob Shelter. I keep calling it Charlotte's Knob. Maybe like Charlotte's Web. I don't know. It's a beautiful day today. Not so cold, but brisk, with ice on all the leaves, and beautiful Spartan bunkhouse just went past me because I was messing around. I'm not very consistent hiker. Yeah, the mile's done, but just, you know, all in good time. That is VA15, little road that is crossed, very small, to a lovely river stream. And I'm trying not to be a water hoarder, so I haven't filled up. I've got a litre. Trying to discipline myself. It's another 6 miles to another fill. Oh my god, should I get more water? I have such water insecurity. It's a good place to have just had a snack, a pee, put my orange cover on my pack so I could take my hat off. Probably wearing far too much, but after speaking with the hunters yesterday, They said, absolutely wear your orange today. It's doe day, Saturday. The woods will be full of shooters. Shooters! So, off I go. Can you hear that? The sun's just gone down. It's like 5 o'clock. I've got a mile and a bit to go up to the top to Chestnut Knob shelter. And I can hear loads of gunfire. You'd think that once they fired once, all of the deer would be frightened away, unless it's a range. I'm not used to hearing gunfire. Just trying to get to the shelter before it gets dark. Woke up very cold this morning in Chestnut Knob shelter. Bunkhouse and Spud also stayed there. I wore all of my layers and got deep into my sleeping bag with my liner that I didn't want to bring because it's too heavy. I'm so glad I did. And I actually had a really good night's sleep. The wind howling around the top of the mountain, like 4,200 feet up, I think. But it was woo, howling like some kind of crazy storm. When you actually got outside in the morning, it wasn't that bad. I'm coming down the other side of it now and the views are spectacular. Check them out. Wow, wee! So good. Oh, and I forgot to put my soy water filter in my bed last night with me. So luckily, I don't think it froze, because we were inside and it was in my bag. But I have to remember to stuff that with all my clothes in my sleeping bag. This is pretty. Anyone feeling hikey? It's so cold. It's no joke out here today. It's meant to be minus 13 UK temps, coming in a bit later. Feels really cold right now. Everything of my extremities is numb, so I need to get inside soon. It's really fucking cold. And I did sleep outside last night. And it's still snowing. And my whole face is like cracked and red and sore. But that's okay, because I'm 3 miles from a road and I'm gonna hitch to a church and I'm gonna sleep on the floor of a church. I think they have heating. I'm gonna try and hitch to a liquor store and buy a bottle of whiskey. There's coming now. No. That's the shelter that saved our lives in the snowstorm last night. I love how they put the cross there just as the sunrise comes up behind it. Very smart. Oh. Okay. more water, now the snow's melting. We're hiking 25 into Damascus today, and everyone's kind of over it because we've had quite a few nights in the cold. Last night was extremely cold. I'm having a bit of a hard time, and it's not that just that it's cold at night. It's a bit lonelier, but I've got nice people that I'm mostly hiking with now. My feet are in bits. It's all right when I'm going, but when I stop and try and walk again, it's really shit. I've been doing, I guess, 23s, 20s within the dark, before it gets dark at 5:15. I think at the end of today, it'll be well under 400 miles to go. We camped down by the river last night. So lovely to listen to it. Actually, we camped on a tributary that's just down inside there. I'm quite tired because I slept 11 hours. So somehow I've entered a vortex there that's made me more tired. But I feel good. Feet don't hurt quite so much. Got them totally bandaged up with Bigelow tape and gaffer tape and plasters, bandages, everything. But who can complain when you're hiking for a living? On the way to Rowan High Knob. It's Fitbit. Pushing on. I love that. I love that so much. Those are the ones in the distance. Oh boy, so beautiful. Sleeping bag's not quite warm enough. Shambles. Morning! So beautiful with the mist and the river down below. Just climbed up a bit of a hill and on my way back to Owen for Thanksgiving. I don't think, turned around and hiked north before, so it's quite strange, especially using gut hooks for going north and just following the north signs. Feels wrong, but really it's all going to be right when I get to Thanksgiving. You gotta go. You gotta go. This would be the view, I guess. It's not as cold as it looks. It's just a bit wet. Kind of drizzly. It's like Cornwall in the summer.
Oh shit.
When did you start?
June 20. You?
What's happening?
I wasn't even done with school on June 20th.
It's a perfect day here forever.
It's very cold. And I don't think we're going to go another 2,000 feet up for a 20-mile day across the ridge because it's just too cold. Hey Fitbit. Hey. Even our fire got snowed out. Some more flags. And a lot of snow. Cold bum. Really positive Fitbit. Loving life. Bye, shelter. Here we go. Virgin snow. Can't even see the steps. Skipping a bit of trail might not sound like a lot when you're walking so far, but I'd already had to miss a few small sections. And now, even though we'd hiked 9.5 miles up and into the Smoky Mountains, through some snow, we knew that it was time to retrace our steps and head back down the miles we'd already come up the day before. Hard-won miles, bitterly cold, aching miles, and sit out the Smoky Mountains and wait for a ride around to the other side. A really terrible cold snap was coming, and we'd spoken to rangers who warned us that if we'd go further in, they wouldn't maybe be able to come and rescue us because the blizzards were going to be so bad. We were in light hiking gear. We were not kitted out and ready for a deep winter blizzard. When we woke up, the snow was already deep enough to cover our shoes and be inching up our calves as we walked, with Ziploc bags wrapped around our feet, stuffed into our wet shoes, feet like blocks of ice. We packed up our possessions and reluctantly admitted to ourselves that it would be dangerous to carry on, and not just dangerous to ourselves, dangerous to people who might have to come and rescue us if we got stuck. We didn't have enough food if we got stuck for days in a shelter somewhere up in the Smoky Mountains. We didn't have enough food to make it to Gatlinburg if we got stuck in between. We had to just go back, and that was really hard to swallow. We waited in a hostel until Moose came to pick us up, who'd finished her trail hike not long before and was heading home. She collected us, drove us around the Smoky Mountain range and dropped us around 40 miles along the other side onto the trail again. I've tried to repay those miles back to the Smokies and done a few of them last year before a massive rainstorm washed out part of the trail and I had to go and catch a flight back home to the UK. My time ran out waiting to be able to access the trail again. But these things happen. You can't argue with the weather. You have to do what's right and safe for everybody. So on we went, just not quite on the bit of trail we were anticipating at the time. The trail was still glorious and it still had plenty of joy and wonder to serve us before we reached the end. So we've jumped the Smokies, we came to the other side. It's still a bit snowy, it's pretty cold. It's a bit hobbity. What a view. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Only covered portion of the whole AT. The shoe tree. Where dreams come to die. Fitbit's bed looks really well laid out. You can see how neatly she's, yeah, fabulous. Are you not going all the way back? Are you just staying on the edge?
No, I'm gonna scoot it back.
Okay. And this is me. This is my hot water bottle, even though it's not cold enough. I got my liner, a bag, and a variety of items. Oh, I need to put that bra inside my sleeping bag. Clothes drying out.
I'm brushing my teeth, you should be proud.
Stinky. Oh, you're brushing your teeth, Stinky! Yeah! Oh. And it is very misty. Look at that. Misty moo. Can't see nothing. You can see the bear box glinting in the light. You can hear Fitbit doing some personal hygiene.
I'm a hide.
This is the current scene this morning, Mama and Daddy and Nikki. Use the umbrella to go to the privy, which doesn't have a door on it, but it's raining. Fitbit doesn't normally have her stove that crazy. Just using up fuel. Cake for breakfast. Snacks for lunch. I've been carrying for a while. Crisps. Enough to smash them all down, and then some biscuits. They've had for about 2 weeks. Let's see what we've got left now. That was grits for breakfast. Packing up my bag. Where am I going? Okay, more white places. Ooh, someone's camping there. It's a tent. I'm gonna go up now. Up, 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 steady, slow. All the way up to... Hey buddy, 4.1. Yes. I've got about 2.2 miles to go up there. And I'm thinking about how I feel about getting to Springer. And I think I don't feel a lot. Like it's an inevitability, thankfully, that I can get here. Well, it's an inevitability that this is where I've been going. But for me, I think, having thought about it last night, the whole thing has been about, here's a start point, here's an end point, and here's a lot of unknown thrown in the middle. Challenge, adversity, the potential for catastrophe, joy, terror, learning, relationships, disappointment, and that's what it's all been about. It's been about everything except for the beginning and the end, for me. So the end is wonderful, but it's really just a threshold for me to the next challenge. What can I do? Where can I put myself that's so far out of my comfort zone that it terrifies me, but I do it anyway. To see how far I can go. I am going to sit and write all the things that this has taught me, that I've learned about myself, about my relationships, how I make them, how I value myself, how to make a lighter pack, how to be a better backpacker, who I am, how I contribute better, how I contribute to the world and how I can do it better, how I can be a better friend, more selfless. It's been great. It's been really good. And don't quite know how to put it into words what this trail's given me, and the confidence it's given me in myself again, in my body. How grateful I am for everyone that has helped me on the way. People who have very little, who've given everything. You don't have very much themselves, but they open up their door and they bring you in and they give you every single thing they have. It's helped me be a better person. And thank you to all of those people who've helped me along the way, all the trail angels, the people at home who've encouraged me, mostly the people along this trail who keep it going, and the other hikers who are learning too, and everyone's like pinballing into each other on different trajectories of learning and fear and hope, but we're all on one path. We're just like barreling around on this tiny strip trying to elevate ourselves or learn. Anyway, I better get my fucking lazy ass up this mountain.
Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand. Yeah, we only get one life. I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand.
What did you make me, Mama?
A banner.
Let's have a look. You guys!